All right, shalom, shalom. I'd like to start off first and foremost by giving all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rekar Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. Peace, love, and salutations to the men out there pushing this word in truth and sincerity. This is your brother Nathaniel from the GMS Camp Atlanta coming back at you through the Spirit with another lesson. And I pray and hope that this lesson is edifying. Just wanted to address, this video here, the pride of this devil and Babylon the Great is just asinine. You know what I'm saying? This devil truly says in his heart that nobody can bring me down, and he gonna reign forever. He won't be no widow. So I got a couple of videos I'm gonna play, then we're gonna grab some precepts. But without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and let it play.
We've had very frank discussions, Vladimir Putin and I, and the idea that NATO is not going to be united, I don't buy. I've spoken to every major NATO leader. We've had the NATO-Russian summit. We've had the OSCE has met, etc. And so I think what you're going to see is that Russia will be held accountable if it invades. And it depends on what it does. It's one thing if it's a minor incursion and then we end up having a fight about what to do and not do, etc. But if they actually do what they're capable.
Now he said that he thinks that, and you're wrong there, buddy, because you're NATO and NATO is going to break apart and NATO is going to betray you. Okay, says the scripture, says the Lord, man. Thus saith the Lord. This is Obadiah 1:7. It says, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and have prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. You see? So as we approach these final days, these final moments of Esau, Edom, you're going to start to see everything that he built, all the alliances that he built start to unravel all across the world, okay? You're going to start seeing all of this shit unravel, all right? So when he says that what he think is going to happen, no, it's not going to happen. What's going to happen is that those countries that you thought were allied with you are going to turn against you. Thus saith the Bible, man. And Russia is going to press the issue, and we're going to get into that too, because the spirit of the Lord is on Russia to become that ravaging beast that Russia needs to be to bring down America, okay? So I'm going to read that again. It says, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee, the men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and have prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid up a wound under thee, and there is none understanding in him. Now we're going to come back to this, but I'm going to get another preset real quick. This is Psalms 55:20, because you've made deals with the other nations and you've broken your agreement with all of the other nations. You have never kept your agreement with any nation outside of the elite. The elite, they do their thing and amongst each other. But when it comes to the other nations, the elite, they lie, steal, and go against every single thing that they tell you that they're not going to do. So what I mean by that is, if they tell you that they're going to do something, they're not going to do it. If they tell you they're going to, if they're not going to do something, they're going to do it. So they do the exact opposite. All right. So this is Psalms 55:20, and it says, he hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He had broken his covenant. You see, so this scripture isn't just pertaining to the Israelites, because the Israelites, we've been at peace with him when he came over here with via the Native Americans, you know, and they taught Esau Edom, you know, how to take care of himself. You know, the Moors, when the Moors brought during the Dark Ages, when they brought them out of the Caucasus Mountains and taught them how to bathe and season their food and take care of themselves. And the moment that he gets in a position of authority, he wants to take, or in a better position, he wants to take your position. You see, so he'll make agreements and promises and things of that nature, but secretly, inwardly, there's deceit in his heart to take what you have from you. And you know, this also goes into his treaties, Psalms 55 and 21. It says, "The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but there were war in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet they were drawn swords." So, you know, anytime this devil will make a treaty, he would make it sound good. He would make it sound sweet. He would make it sound like this is a good deal for you and for him. And sometimes he'll even make it seem like he's a loser of this deal, but he'll have loopholes and back doors in his contract that only he knows about, which is fraudulent, that will allow him to wiggle out of certain shit and get away with certain things. You know, like how they go over to other countries and they use their fractional reserve system and say, okay, we'll loan you $1 billion via fractional reserve system. And they understand that that money is impossible to pay with compound interest, with interest constantly compounded on it, you know, not for any other purpose, but to state that he said this. Albert Einstein said the eighth wonder of the world is compound interest. So when you understand how interest compounds over a period of time, if you give somebody a large sum of money in a very short period of time, that interest, you know, in 7 years, you know, if you loan somebody $1 billion in 7 years, the interest cost that billion to double. So you went from in 7 years. So a country that took $1 billion from these people and with this fake money, they understand that these people that give this money understand that in a very short period of time, they're gonna the interest that's going to incur is going to be so much that they'll never be able to repay it. So what do? They go in and they take all of your infrastructure, your lands, your houses, you know what I'm saying, and they mine all of your resources for their own selfish gain, selfish benefits or gain, you know. So this devil thinks that, you know, all of the treachery and bullshit that he's committed in the world, even against his own people he've done shit like this to, right? He thinks that he's just going to be able to, everyone's going to stay on his side, that nothing is going to dissolve. But this is the words of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. So this is going to happen, and you can see it. He even said it like, when you say something what I think is going to happen, that implies doubt. You don't know for sure what's going to happen, because you didn't say, well, what's going to happen is our allies stand strong together. You said, well, what I think is going to happen. So what that implies is that there's doubt, you know, that NATO and the other alliance nations are going to stand with America. They're not, because everyone's tired of this hoe. So let's play some more of the video.
Of doing with the force amassed on the border. It is going to be a disaster for Russia if they further invade Ukraine, and that our allies and partners are ready to impose severe cost and significant harm on Russia and the Russian economy. I think he still does not want any full-blown war, number one. Number two, do I think he'll test the West, test the United States and NATO as significantly as he can? Yes, I think he will. But I think he'll pay a serious and dear price for it that he doesn't think now will cost him what it's going to cost him. We've had very frank discussions.
Man, you hear this? You hear this devil, like the pride on this devil, man. It's just unbelievable how much pride he has, man. This is Obadiah 1 and 3. It says, "The pride of thine heart have deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down?" This is exactly what this devil thinks. Oh, you know, Vladimir Putin, and he's going to pay a very high price. Bro, who are you? Who are you? You honestly think that these other nations are going to stay down forever, man? That you're going to be able to do the stuff that you do forever and there's not going to be any consequence or recompense. See, these devils know something is going to happen. That's why they putting all of this stuff up around the White House and fortifying certain buildings and things of that nature, because they know that something is going to happen. They know Russia and China got intercontinental ballistic missiles that can travel 7,400 miles in 1 hour and hit targets with pinpoint accuracy. America knows that shit. They know that they don't have any defense against the barrage of hypersonic missiles that are being sent from various countries like Russia and China. And I'm quite sure that North Korea got their hands on some too. And then you're going to find out later on that the so-called NATO nations probably did backdoor deals with Russia and China to go against America, because that's what the scriptures talk about. The Confederacy are they're going and Obadiah 1 and 7. We're gonna read it again because there's a part of this. I just want to bring it out first. It says, though thou exalt, verse 4, it says, though thou exalt thyself as an eagle, and though thy set their nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. You see that? The Lord gonna bring you down, man. You talking all this cash crap. Oh, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, we're gonna do this, we're gonna be no, you're not doing none of that. Okay? Your time is up, man. This is it for you. This war is about to get cracking. And think about this. Think about all of the times in history where America had gotten to the point to where they were going to a financial collapse. That's exactly what's happening now. When the politicians are this close from the people just storming the Capitol and taking everybody into custody. Because of these mandates and stuff like that. What normally happens? We go into a war. A war that's created by Esau Edom, so he can hide what he has done and at the same time knock off a whole bunch of people. You see, that's his MO. That's what he does. He'll create a scenario where it's likely for us to get into a war, and then he'll create that scenario, destroy everything, and then afterward comes back and rebuilds it and says, okay, after he done killed everybody that could possibly prosecute him for what he's done, then he starts to rebuild in his same position of authority. But what you don't understand is this is it. After this, you're done. Your rulership is over with forever and ever, and you're going to be wiped out like the scourge you are. All right, you're going to be thrown down. The Lord going to bring you down. It says, if these came to thee, if robbers came by night, how are they cut off? Would they not stolen till they had enough? If gape gatherers, this is the Lord being sarcastic here. If gape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes? And any other person that came, and you see the field of grapes and you're hungry, you're not going to sit there in the field and take every goddamn grape off of every bush, right? You're going to leave some. You're going to take your field, put some in your basket, and then go about your business. You know what I'm saying? If you was a thief and you walked into the store, you're not going to try to steal everything in the store. You're going to steal what you decided to get, whether it be money, whether it be clothes, and you're going to get the hell on. But not Esau Edom. Esau Edom is a black hole. He wants everything. You see what I'm saying? He wants everything, every grape, every piece of everything. He wants it to belong to him, every person, everything. This is why this devil does what he does. Because he wants everything to belong to him, And then if he was to have everything, it still wouldn't be enough for him. You got everything that your heart's desire. All things are under your foot. And the scripture even talk about how this devil got more than the heart can wish. You got everything under your foot, and yet it's still not enough. You got hundreds of trillions of dollars stashed up, and you and your family can live in peace for thousands of years, but you choose not to. Why? Because you are the wicked that the Bible speaks of, man. Continuing on, it says, how are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? Because the Lord is revealing it. That's how. It says, they All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. Verse 8, shall I not in that day, saith the Lord, even destroy the wise men out of Edom and understanding out of the mount of Esau? You see that? So the Lord is, and Russia, don't think Russia, you gonna come out of this unscathed, because y'all Edomites too. Y'all just gonna be used as a tool to punish America, but ultimately all Edomites are gonna be taken out of power, and their lands are gonna be taken. Okay, this is verse 9. It says, and the mighty men and thy mighty men, O Teman, shall be dismayed. That's the Greek way of saying Edom, Teman, to the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter for the violence against thy brother Jacob. Shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. You see that? You're going to be cut off forever because of your wickedness, man. Thinking that you can police everybody, So I'm gonna start this one. I'm gonna pray this one. Now they're kind of like the same, but this one got a little bit more in there.
Sanctions like the ones I promised will be imposed if he moves, number one. Number two, we're in a situation where Vladimir Putin is about to, we've had very frank discussions, Vladimir Putin and I, and the idea that NATO is not going to be united, I don't buy. I've spoken to every major NATO leader. We've had the NATO-Russian summit. We've had the OSCE has met, etc. And so I think what you're going to see is that Russia will be held accountable if it invades. And it depends on what it does. It's one thing if it's a minor incursion and then we end up having a fight about what to do and not do, etc. But if they actually do what they're capable of doing with the force amassed on the border, it is going to be a disaster for Russia if they further invade Ukraine, and that our allies and partners are ready to impose severe cost and significant harm on Russia and the Russian economy. And, we're going to fortify our NATO allies. I told them on the eastern flank, if in fact he does invade, I've already shipped over $600 million worth of sophisticated equipment, defensive equipment, to the Ukrainians. The cost of going into Ukraine in terms of physical loss of life for the Russians, they'll be able to prevail over.
Pride, man. This dude talking cash shit. He said, "Hey, we're gonna hit y'all economically. We're gonna make it to where y'all can't spend money. Y'all can't do this. Y'all can't do that. So we're gonna hit y'all economically, okay? Me and the other nations, we're gonna come together against you. Then, the loss of life, as so many people gonna die because of this. Man, do you know that once you decide to attack them Russians are waiting to hit the button, man. They're waiting. Them and the Chinese, they are waiting to hit the button on America, man. Let me grab another precept, man, because this dude is, damn, man. Like, I'm going to go to Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter, because a precept just came to mind. How much debt that this whore has? Over 26 trillion, if there is such a number, There it is. This is Habakkuk 2:6. It says, shall not all these take up a parable against him and a taunting proverb against him and say, woe to him that increases that which is not his. You taking things and going and butting into matters that don't concern you, man. That even when you sit there and say woe unto him, woe unto him that increases that it's not his, and that includes your business, man. You increasing business that ain't yours, man. This is what you do. Going into lands and trying to reconcile things with people that ain't got shit to do with you, man. Nothing to do with you. But ultimately, that's the will of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, because the Lord want to bring this whole down. And he want to bring it down the way he said it was going to go down. Okay? This is why things are playing out the way that they are. You know, actually, I'm gonna read 5 too. No, I'm gonna start at 4. It says, "Behold, his soul, which is lifted up, is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith." So this devil, he can't do the right thing. This is why we're in a constant state of war and agony and terror, because being that he is the wicked, the way that he perceives reality through the lens of wickedness, to him, his wickedness is righteousness. You see? It's not like this devil thinks that, what am I doing? The things that I'm doing is evil. No, he actually believes that the things that he does is right. This is why he does it. And because he feels like the things that he does is right, he feels like he can impose it on everybody. You see, that goes into that pride. Well, because what I do is right, everybody has to do it. What I decide to do, everybody needs to do because I'm right in this. But you're the wicked. Okay? It says, yea, also because he transgresses by wine, he is a proud man. We just talked about that. He's proud. This damn devil think he can do whatever the hell he want to do. It says, neither keepeth at home, who enlarges his desire as hell. Everywhere he goes, there's a hellish condition that is created. Okay? In every country, you got, this devil will try to ship certain foods to other countries, and they'll say no. Because like Mountain Dew, Gatorade, chicken that they clean chicken and chlorine. So the chicken that we get is clean with chlorine. You know what I'm saying? And that's how they sterilize it. Basically, they dump it in bleach, and then we eat that shit. You know what I'm saying? The genetically modified foods that cause all type of debilitating diseases, red number 4, and all of the different 40 and dyes and stuff like that are in the food. This shit is poisonous, And other nations are like, nah, we don't want that, because we know that if we take this from you, it's going to create hell for us. You see, so we're just trying our best to limit the hell, But ultimately, you can't limit the hell because this devil is in power all over. So no matter where you live, you're going to be in hell because he's in rulership. Neither keepeth at home. He enlarges his desire as hell and is as death. You see? So everything that this devil is tied to is death. That's why we're about to enter into this war. One, because it's the will of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, but two, the one that that is in control, he does not believe in peace. Okay? He don't believe in peace. Even if he was to get his new world order, his one world order, and everything would be peaceful, it will only be for a time before this devil will have to stir some shit up and create war just to satisfy himself, because that's the nature of Esau, man. That's Esau's nature. All right? It says, and cannot be satisfied. Remember, he's a black hole. Gather unto him all nations. I go into other nations and tell y'all what to do. Y'all can't fend for yourself. I have the greatest, most accomplished nation in the history of history. So even though you were here way before me, most of y'all were established and living centuries before I was, and y'all build functional societies. We do it the best. That's this devil's thinking, And it says, and heapeth unto him all people. So he feels like he should run all people and be in control of everybody. That's what he feels like. And then this is verse 6, and this was the point. It says, shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increases that which is not his. So taking things that do not belong to you, getting yourself involved with matters that do not concern you, right? It says, how long? And to him that laden himself with thick clay. And that was the whole point of me reading that, because here it is. This devil is talking about imposing sanctions on people when we got trillions upon trillions of dollars in debt. That just goes to show you that this money shit is fake as hell, man. Because how could you be in debt that much money to the other nations and still sit there and say, I'm oppose a sanction on somebody, but you owe every damn body? Yeah, I owe you, I owe you, I owe you. But you know what? I'm gonna make it to where you can't make no more money. I'm gonna make it to where you can't make no more money. I'm gonna blow your economy up because y'all all, I owe all you guys. That's not how it works. This is, Babylon is a Debo on the block, man.
Time, but it's going to be heavy. It's going to be real. It's going to be consequential. In addition to that, Putin has a stark choice. He either de-escalation or diplomacy, confrontation of the consequences. And look, I think you're going to see, for example, everybody talks about how Russia has control over the energy supply that Europe absorbs. Well, guess what? That money that they earn from that makes about 45% of the economy. I don't see that as a one-way street. They go ahead and cut it off. It's like my mother used to say, you're biting your nose off to spite your face. It's not like they have all these wonderful choices out there. I spoke with the Prime Minister of Finland, and, we're talking.
You hear this cat? Pride, pride, pride. These Americans really, these Babylonians really think they're unstoppable. But, I'm going to go ahead and grab these last few precepts and close it out. So this is Psalms 49 and 11. Psalms 49 and 11. It says, their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands by their own names. You see that? So this dude think that he's unstoppable. No matter what he does, he will always continue to remain in power, and America and all of these other Edomite nations are going to reign in control forever. That's what this devil thinks. And this is why he stands up with so much pride, thinking that tomorrow he's still going to be in power. And I don't mean like tomorrow as in the next day. I mean just in the future. Like he's going to be in power forever, And then I'm going to grab this last precept. This is Ezekiel 38. This is 38 and 3. 38 and 3 it says, well, let's start at 1 because just so the Russians know that the Lord is against them too. It says, and the word of the Lord came to me saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief priests of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesied against him. And say, thus saith Yahweh, power, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, and I'm against thee, O Gog, and the chief priests of Meshach and Tubal. And I will turn thee back and put hooks in thy jaws, and bring thee forth, and all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. So, this is a twofold thing, because when the Lord say, I'm against thee, O Gog and Magog, the Lord is bringing Russia back to go to war with America so Russia can meet some level of destruction as well as America being destroyed as well. You see? So this is a twofold thing, but the Lord is really putting that USSR spirit back on Russia, and these other devils ain't taking it from these devils. So you think, Joe Beasy for Sheezy, you think you can make these threats? Russia like, okay. Because Vladimir Putin already had stated that there are going to be dire consequences for America if they try to stop them from going into Ukraine. And these Russians have boasted their power with their new hypersonic missiles by showing these Americans that they have them, that we have these super hypersonic missiles that can touch you, because America think that it can't be touched because of its geography, because it sits on many waters. But no, that's not true. You about to be touched, okay, in a very, very big way. So that was pretty much it. I'm going to end it off by giving all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, Bashem, Rakar Kodash, double honor to the elders and the apostle, great millstone, to the next time, Makim Shalom.